Hey bitches, welcome to another Douche of the Week. So this is just going to be a short video on the Munk debate that happened out in TO. Now this debate on political correctness had Michael Eric Dyson, Michelle Goldberg, Stephen Fry, and Jordan Peterson. Now, I encourage all of you, I'll put a link in the description if you haven't already to watch the full debate. But I have to warn you, if you were looking for an intelligent conversation, a fresh exchange of ideas, boy, did you come to the wrong fucking place.
A dead white man, John Stuart Mill, the despotism of custom is everywhere the standing hindrance to human advancement.
Did they just bring a 12-year-old to a debate?
I think that some of our opponents, by contrast, frame challenges to the despotism of custom as politically correct attacks on a transcendent natural order.
Oh my God, they actually did bring a 12-year-old to this debate.
To quote Mr. Peterson again. Now, in case people haven't realized, this is just the first few minutes into the debate of the first speaker. And already, it has become abundantly clear what this debate is about. This is not about ideas. This is not about a reasonable discussion. This is about two people trying to discredit and attack one person. Each gender, each sex has its own unfairness to deal with. But to think of it as a consequence of the social structure, it's like, come on, really, what about nature itself?
Now, I gotta warn any of you who's gonna actually watch the full video that listening to this woman at great lengths is probably gonna lower your IQ. But there actually is a couple bright spots in this debate.
This is how it looks to me. We essentially need something approximating a low-resolution grand narrative to unite us. And we need a narrative to unite us because otherwise we don't have peace. To be identified by the groups that we belong to and to construe the entire world as the battleground between different forms of tyranny in consequence of that group affiliation. And to the degree that we play out that narrative, that won't be progress, believe me, and we certainly haven't seen that progress in the universities. We've seen situations like what happened at Wilfrid Laurier University instead. We won't see progress. What we'll return to is exactly the same kind of tribalism that characterized the left.
But unfortunately, where things go up, things have to come down.
The very ground of our existence. So knowledge has fleshly basis. And what I'm saying to you, the knowledge that I bring as a person of color makes a difference in my body because I know what people think of me and I know how they respond to me. And that ain't no theory.
Now, I just want to remind everybody who's watching this video, this debate is about political correctness.
Am I mad at trigger warnings? The only trigger warning I want is from a cop. Are you about to shoot me?
I mean, really, come on. We all knew what was going to happen when he talked. However, in this debate, there was another shining spot that I was completely surprised about.
This has got to stop. This rage, resentment, hostility, intolerance. Above all, this with us or against us, certainty. A grand canyon has opened up in our world. The fissure, the crack, grows wider every day. Neither on each side can hear a word that the other shrieks, and nor do they want to. While these armies and propagandists in the culture wars clash, down below in the enormous space between the two sides, the people of the world try to get on with their lives, alternately baffled, bored, and betrayed by the horrible noises and explosions that echo all around. I think it's time for this toxic, binary, zero-sum madness to stop.
Now, I'll admit, I didn't really know a lot about Stephen Fry. I just saw him in a couple movies, but I gotta say, I'm impressed by this guy, and I wish he would actually speak a lot more.
I believe one of the greatest human failings is to prefer to be right than to be effective. And political correctness is always obsessed with how right it is without thinking of how effective it might be.
You know what? I think my IQ actually just jumped.
That's what the gay
damn it.
rights movement was. That's in some ways what the trans rights movement was. I mean, far from a collectivist movement, this is kind of liberalism, classical liberalism, pushed to its extreme, right? These are people saying, I have the right to define my identity against the one that was collectively assigned to me. Finally, I would say, a lot of the things that Stephen Fry said, and particularly his temperament, were probably in agreement, but this inquisition, this censoriousness, on the one hand, I'm sort of, I see where he's coming from, but I think it's a little bit...
That was painful.
Word here is a bit of a tension. Let's draw it out a bit more.
Well, I think it's one of the primal sins of identity politics players on the left and the right, just to be clear about that. Personally, since this has got personal at times, I'm no fan of the identitarian right.
Folks, I'm going to go to Jordan, then to you,
Let's
Michelle.
assume for a moment that I've benefited from my white privilege. Okay, so let's assume that. That's fine.
Assumption.
That's what you would say. So, so let's say, here, let's get precise about this, okay?
Was that very individual of you?
Let's get precise about this, okay?
Let's get precise.
To what degree is my present level of attainment or achievement a consequence of my white privilege? And I don't mean sort of. I mean, do you mean 5%? Do you mean 15%? Do you mean 25%? Do you mean 75%? And what do you propose I do about it? How about a tax? How about a tax that's like specialized for me so that I can account for my damn privilege, so that I can stop hearing about it?
Now, if you've watched the full interview, you'll know that Stephen Fry and Jordan Peterson are trying to talk about political correctness. Unfortunately, the other two have decided that they just need to attack Jordan Peterson.
But that is to be complicit in the very problem itself, terminologically. You're beginning at a point that's already productive and controversial. You're saying, how can he get his equality back? Who are you talking about? Jordan Peterson? Trending #1 on Twitter? Jordan Peterson? With an international bestseller? I want him to tweet something out about me in my book. Jordan Peterson, right? This is what I'm saying to you. Why the rage, bruh? You're doing well, but you're a mean, mad white man.
Here we are supposed to have a debate about political correctness, and Michael Dyson shows what an utter piece of shit that he is.
And you're going to get us right. And I have never seen so much wine and snowflaking. There's enough wine in here to start a vineyard. And what I'm saying to you empirically and precisely, when you ask the question about white privilege, the fact that you ask it in the way you did, dismissive, pseudoscientific, non-empirical, and without justification, the truth is that white privilege doesn't...
Welcome to the shit show that is Michael Dyson. But I actually like listening to him talk because I know that he's a race baiter. Yes, he will always play the race card. And yes, he's definitely made a lot of money off of it. But people don't really realize of where he got his character from. See, back in the 90s, there was a show called In Living Color, and Damon Wayans nailed it.
Internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate.
According to quantifiable segments, it's about the degree to which we are willing as a society to grapple with the ideals
so precious.
Of
I mean, I'm not making the case that I haven't had advantages in my life and disadvantages in my life like most people. You don't know anything about my background or where I came from. It doesn't matter to you because fundamentally I'm a mean white man. That's a hell of a thing to say in a debate.
And now Michael Dyson will just double down on his stupidity.
My comment was not predicated upon my historical excavation of your past. It's based upon the evident vitriol with which you speak and the denial of a sense of equanimity among combatants in an argument. So I'm saying again, you're a mean, mad white man, and the viciousness is evident.
Okay. Let's reset.
Or the case. But I would say the fact that race got dragged into that particular comment is a better exemplar of what the hell I think is wrong with the politically correct left than anything else that could have possibly happened.
So this whole debate has been about attacking Jordan Peterson and trying to discredit him. And then Stephen Fry steps in.
I think people will look back on this debate and wonder why political correctness wasn't discussed.
But unfortunately, retards strike back.
Right gone too far?
Of course the right
How?
has gone
Tell
too
us
far.
how.
Well, how about Auschwitz?
I mean,
Well, I was talking about 20th
is that
century
right?
politics.
What else? What more recently? What has gone wrong with the right?
Look, I don't like identity politics players at all. I don't care whether they're on the left or the right. I've been lecturing about right-wing extremism for 30 years. I'm no fan of the right, despite the fact that the left would like to paint me that way because it's more convenient
How has the
for
right
them.
gone too far recently?
Well, where? It's threatening to go too far in identitarian Europe, that's for sure. It's gone too far in Charlottesville. It went too far in Norway. Like, how long a list do you want? And why am I required to produce that? To show you that I don't like the identitarian
us,
right?
I just thought I'd ask you.
I was actually asking you a question. So your assumption is somehow that I must be on the side of the right. It's like, look, the right hasn't occupied the humanities and the social sciences. It's as simple as that for me. If they had, I'd be objecting to them.
Say that again. I didn't hear that.
The right has not occupied the social sciences and the humanities. And the left clearly has. The statistical evidence for that is overwhelming.
Sir, what about IQ testing in terms of genetic inheritance?
So finally, we come to the end. Everyone has to make their closing remarks, and Jordan comes out with a great speech.
I'm not here to argue against progress. I'm not here to argue against equality of opportunity. Anyone with any sense understands that even if you're selfish, you're best served by allowing yourself access to the multiplicitous talents of everyone and to discriminate against them for arbitrary reasons unrelated to their competences. It's abhorrent. That has nothing to do with the issue at hand. It isn't that good things haven't happened in the past and shouldn't continue to happen. That's not the point. The point is the point my compatriot Fry made, which is, well, we can agree on the catastrophe and we can agree on the historic inequity, but there's no way I'm going to agree that political correctness is the way to address any of that, and there's plenty of evidence to the contrary, some of which I would say was displayed quite clearly tonight.
Now, if you thought the attack of Jordan Peterson was over, oh, no. Because, unfortunately, the 12-year-old little girl had to step in.
Recognize how threatened so many women feel when, for example, the kind of, one of the best-selling and most prominent intellectuals in the world right now says in an interview that maybe the Me Too movement has shown that this whole experiment of men and women working together is just not working. Or, maybe if women don't want the workplace to be sexualized, they shouldn't be allowed to wear makeup.
I didn't say that.
Well, Google it.
It
was a Vice interview. Google it.
Yeah, well.
So, right, if I say, like...
Now, the video that she's referring to was a Vice hit piece that they did on Jordan Peterson, which was already debunked months ago. This is the video. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description. I encourage you to go watch it. There's the edited video where they tried to make Jordan sound like he said something. Then there's the actual video. But the thing that bothers me about this woman bringing this up is this woman is supposed to be a journalist. And if a journalist can't even go onto the internet and find out if a story's true, accurate, or just completely made up, but an 8-year-old child can with a computer, there's a serious fucking problem.
More than 4 days?
Mm-hmm. We're new at this.
We're new at this.
Absolutely. We're completely new at it. It's only been a couple of generations. That's part of the problem, right? Is that we don't know what the rules are. Like, what? Here's a rule. How about no makeup in the workplace?
Why would that be a rule?
Why should you wear makeup in the workplace? Isn't that sexually provocative?
No.
It's not?
No.
Well, what is it then? What's the purpose of makeup?
Some people would like to just put on makeup.
Why?
I don't know why.
Why do
people
you
put
make your
on-
lips red? Because they turn red during sexual arousal. That's why. Why do you put rouge on your cheeks? Same reason.
So your argument.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't wear makeup.
No, I'm not saying that. But you're saying that
I'm saying we
when
don't know
women
what the
put
rules
on
are.
makeup in the workplace, that they have sexualized themselves in a way.
That's what makeup's for.
That
That's self-evident. Why else would you wear it?
Now, obviously, this guy from Vice, his parents were brother and sister. But if you thought Dumb and Dumber were finished, you would be mistaken.
At the Munk debates. I mean, this is not a place for shrinking wallflowers. But any unsaid thoughts? Anything that you want to?
I'd like to continue the redundance of my quote-unquote intestinal tract, see, because to preclude on the issue of world domination would only circumcise the revelation that reflects the aphrodisiac symptoms which now perpetrates the Jericho's activation.
Well, if you are curious about the quote that I mentioned about, maybe this experiment with women and men working together, maybe it's not working. I mean, please do Google it. It's an interview with Vice.
So, the only thing that I have to say about the debate is my hat is off to Jordan Peterson. He constantly was attacked, but he basically showed the class of his character. Stephen Fry, I think, is an amazing dude. And to these two assholes, I can officially say that both of you are a douche. If you liked the video, please like and share. And if you'd like to subscribe to see more videos like this, it would be much appreciated.